book can take you anywhere. Turn the pages and you'll be there. Come on, join us, you'll see. We're reading with Carylee.
Hi, friends, and thank you for joining me for another Read with Carylee. I am so excited that you are here today. And you know what? We have another amazing author for you to enjoy. But before we get to our author, let's make sure we do some housekeeping and make sure you like, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell because you never want to miss another author that is coming to join us. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our next author today. This is Miss Shermaine Perry-Knights. Miss Shermaine, hi, how are you?
Doing really good. Thank you for inviting me. Super excited. I even wore my shirt that says minding my book business.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You know, we've got to get into our books. So we make sure that we represent at all times. So, Ms. Shermaine, where are you representing to us from today?
I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's where I am representing today, but consider myself a world traveler and nowhere exactly is home.
Okay, well, you're going to get into that a little bit with your book. I move a lot, but that's okay. And, you know, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you so that we could get into what this book is all about. Take it away.
All right, let's get started. I move a lot, and I don't know if I'm okay with that. I'm a military brat, and that's what they call us, but I don't like that name. I'm just Grace. I'm 7 years old. And I usually tell people, as long as you don't call me Brad, I'm okay with that. Our family is just my mom, my dad, and me. Our house is yellow and green with a pointy roof. We are stationed at Fort Benning. It's the name of a military base in Columbus, Georgia. Military families call it being stationed, not living somewhere. And stations change all the time. We moved here 1 year ago, and I have lots of friends. Dad always calls being stationed a new adventure, and I'm okay with that. My dad is a soldier in the Army. Today, he came home early from work. My dad hugged and kissed me on the forehead like he always does. Something was different. Dad said it was time for an adventure because he has orders. Military orders are important chores or rules given by the big boss to service members. You have to do what the big boss says to do. No whining at all, and you can't say no. Soldiers like me listen and follow directions, and that's okay. Dad says we are moving to Italia. That's how the Italians say Italy. The Army needs us to go there. I heard that it's beautiful and has lots of beaches to play on. As long as I can swim on the beaches and play, I'm okay with that. I have lots of money in a really big water bottle. It's a different kind of piggy bank. I think I'm rich because the bottle is full. Dad said the money is different where we're going, and I can exchange it when we get there. The money in Italy is called euros. I have to remember to call them euros, not dollars. As long as I am still rich, I'm okay with that. I'm getting used to the idea of moving again. Today is a big day and the movers are here. And I feel really sad. Every time we go on a new adventure, something of mine gets lost or broken. I want to stay home to help mom put our stuff in boxes, but I have to go to school. Mom promised that I could put 3 toys in my backpack. So I chose Cody, my purple stegosaurus, my board game, and my jump rope. I put my new skateboard in there. I grabbed 4 toys in case mom lets me have 4. And as long as I have Cody, I'm okay. Looks like we will live out of a suitcase again. So I will wear the same few outfits. This time is cool because I get my own suitcase. I put lots of stickers on it so everybody knows it's mine. As long as I can pull it through the airport like the grown-ups, that's okay. My room is empty and I feel sad. We are moving into the hotel on base. We call it TLF. That means temporary lodging facility. And there are 3 reasons why you have to live in a TLF as a kid. 1, you just moved to a new place. 2, you're about to move out of a place. And 3, something happened to your family's house. TLF is brown and really long. It's our house for now until we get to Italy. Everyone uses the same kitchen to cook and wash dishes. My room is the last one at the end of the hall. This place does not smell like my house, and that's okay. Dad and I walk up and down the stairs. We did not see anyone, but that is normal. So we knock on a few doors, run and hide to play hide and seek to see if anyone would come out. It's a fun game Dad and I play. I always laugh because Dad picks me up and runs very fast every time. This time, no room doors open. We're having fun, and that's okay. We walk back to the room, and Mom is not there. I wonder, where is she? Dad says Mom went to grab a pizza. We always have pizza before a new adventure. It always makes me smile because pizza feels like home. As long as we have pizza, I'm okay with that. Mom says it's our job to help Dad on this new adventure. The Army needs me to be strong and to learn new things quickly when we PCS. That's what the military calls a permanent change of station. It means that it's time for the family to move again. When I hear PCS, I know it's time to leave our home and move again. Well, I'm a soldier too, a tiny soldier in the Army. I am tough, but all I can think about is how much I already miss this place. If this new adventure is fun, that's okay. Today is my going away party. It's my last day at school, and I'm sad. We are moving in the middle of the school year. I really like my classmates and my teacher, Mr. Mossberg. They are really nice to me. Mr. Mossberg says I can write letters to him and he will read them to the class. My mom has the school address and my teacher's first name because I don't know it. Mom walks into my class. Hi, Grace's mom, everyone says. Mom gives me a special notebook. She said I can ask each person in the class to sign the notebook. I really want to remember everyone. Sometimes when we move, I forget people, and that makes me a little sad. As long as I can write letters to my class, that's okay. My best friend Carrington is not in my class. She cannot come to my going away party. I hope to see her before we move to Italy. I usually ride my bike to school. The movers are packing my bike. So Dad is picking me up from school. He says there's a surprise waiting for me in our room. The ride home is the longest 10 minutes of my life. I run to our room door and Mom opens it before I knock. Carrington, her dad, and her mom were sitting at the table. I asked her to sign my notebook. I do not want to forget Carrington. She was my first friend here and my best friend for now. Dad said we can play outside because the hotel has a playground. As long as there's a slide, that's okay. Well, today is another big day. Mom says our flight leaves tonight at 10 o'clock. I get to stay up past my 8 o'clock bedtime. And that's okay with me. Dad calls a taxi to take us to the airport. And I hear a loud honk and Mom yells, "It's here! The cab is here." So I walk outside with my suitcase dragging behind and I wave goodbye for the last time. Traffic is really slow and we are late. Dad says we have to get to the gate quickly. Mom holds my hand and pays the taxi driver. I know I'm getting too old to hold Mom's hand, but I still like holding Mom and Dad's hands, and that's okay. The airport was busy, but the nice lady says, we can go to the front of the line. Military families sometimes get to go to the front because we're soldiers. And this time, we get to ride on a cool cart all the way to the gate. The plane is big and cold. I tell Mom that I'm scared. Mom says that she's scared too, and we have to be brave. The Army needs us. I hug Cody and I put on my seatbelt. Dad covers me with a blanket. My ears are popping, and Mom gives me watermelon flavored bubble gum. Dad says it's 14 hours of flying. I keep wondering, are we there yet? My back hurts a little, so I use Cody as my personal pillow. He makes me feel good. Cody feels like home, and I'm okay with that. Well, we are finally in Italy after a really long time, and I see our bags, but I don't see Cody. I think I left him on the plane by accident. I feel so sad. Dad says he will buy me another dinosaur. I want Cody, not some imposter. Cody is going on an adventure without me. That is not okay with me. Everything I see looks so nice. Italy is beautiful. It's really hot outside and smells different. Dad says there is sulfur in the air from volcanoes. Yikes. What if one erupts while I'm here? I can't believe Italy has volcanoes, and I'm not okay with that. I roll down the window to smell the sulfur again. I'll have to get used to that. I don't know what the taxi driver is saying, but I like learning new things, so I'm okay with that. Mom says the time in Italy is 6 hours ahead of the time in Fort Benning. It's like we are in the future. I will make sure to write that in my first letter to my old class. We're back at the hotel again, and this looks just like the one I left behind. It does not feel like home yet. I'm still waiting for my bed and toys to get here. Mom says it takes a few months for all of our stuff to get here. As long as my toys get here soon, I'm okay with that. We do not have a car yet. Dad says it will arrive by boat, and we can pick it up when it gets here. Until then, we are walking everywhere. I wonder how much ice cream is. I wonder if it tastes good. As long as I can still get some ice cream, then I'm okay with that. I am taking a walk with mom and smell something really good. I smile and ask mom if we can go in there. I point to a store. Italians call it a pizzeria. I jump up and down and scream, pizza! I wonder how much it costs. Can I please have some, Mom? Yes, you can have some, but you have to ask in Italian. Remember how I taught you? I breathe deeply and I point, Scusi, quanto costa? That's how you say, excuse me, how much in Italian. Mom pays the gentleman €5. I watch the pizza man make the pizza right in front of us. I see him put it in a brick oven. This pizza is different and really good, and I'm okay with that. Today, we are walking to my new school. I rush to the bathroom to comb my hair and put on my favorite dress and sneakers. I really don't know what to expect, and that's okay. Mom says I can start school next week at Naples Elementary School. It's white with a green, pointy roof like my old school. There are so many kids here, so many new faces that I don't know. And our mascot is a dolphin. Since I love dolphins, I'm okay with that. We are meeting our sponsor, Mr. Joe. A sponsor is a friendly face that greets you and your family at your new location and is a grown-up who knows the new place really well. Mr. Joe says he'll make our adventure in Naples fun. Mr. Joe is helping us. We are moving into our new house. It's in a place called Castel Volturno, near the water, and we have a lake in our backyard. I'm so excited because I want to see my new room. I miss my toys. I miss my bike. This time, the movers are bringing boxes inside, and I can't understand what they're saying. I only know a few words in Italian. There are so many boxes. I count and stop counting after 50 boxes. Mom says it's our job to look for boxes with my name on it. I find a room filled with boxes labeled Grace. I open one box and decide to jump on the bubble wrap. Jumping on bubble wrap is one of the best parts of moving, and I'm okay with that. This move is a tough one, but I'm a tough soldier. I want to tell my class all about Italy and what I've learned so far. I want to write a letter. First, I'm going outside to play. Ciao, I'm Sylvia. I live across the street, said a young girl. What's your name? Hi, io sono Grace. I move a lot, and I'm okay with that. The end.
With Carylee.
Well, we see that Grace moves a lot, and it's because she is a military, well, what they would call military brat. But of course, November is the month of the military child. And I'm so glad that we've been able to have you to celebrate that with, our audience, because we definitely have a lot of military families that tune in. And, this really goes to show a lot of our audience who aren't military, what some of our friends go through being a military child. So I think I can guess as to what your inspiration for writing this book was, but could you tell us, what it was for you to write this book?
Of course. I think it's three things. The first is I wrote the book that I wanted as a child.
Yes.
Those tools didn't exist at the time. And there's this belief that kids they'll be fine. We don't need to talk to them about anything. They're just going to be fine.
Mhm.
So the second thing is I wanted this to be a conversation tool between parents and counselors and children to prepare them for relocation. Talk to them about what's going to happen, expose them to the language, talk about the geography, give him or her something to look forward to, like a beach, like a playground, like a house with a different room. Just giving kids something to look forward to. And then lastly, you hit the point right on the head, just creating some empathy for military families, for those that are not connected to the community, so they can understand a little bit more about what these children's daily lives are like. There's a lot of social and physical and emotional change associated with a world they were just born into. They had no choice, but they still have to live and survive, and sometimes explain it to their friends that are not a part of the military community, what their day-to-day life is like.
Okay, so you were a military brat, as they would say.
Yes.
And are you also a part of the military as well?
Just born and raised. I have never served,
Okay.
but I served as a child. I,
Yes,
I was all
absolutely.
over the world, and a lot of times we honor the service member. Sometimes we mention their spouse, but we're not typically honoring the children for their sacrifices. And I think it's just really important to validate their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, because if they're not doing well, it does affect the service member. If the service member, whatever they go through, the children are going through as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So yeah, you do bring up some very good points for, parents who have to, move their children a lot. And maybe it's not even with the military. I know there are missionary families that move a lot as well. And, there may be other jobs that parents have that where their children may be able to move, could move a lot. And this is definitely a great tool for children and parents, and like you said, counselors, to be able to have that mindfulness of what some children may be thinking. And I'm so glad that you wrote this book as an adult to be able to prepare, children that may have to have some of the same experiences that you had.
Yeah. So I think of the migrant families too.
Yeah.
The adults make the choices, and it could be for a better life for that child. It could be a better situation in terms of a job or relocating closer to family, whatever it is. But just imagine the children's worlds are turned upside down.
Yeah.
Everything they know and love, they have to leave behind. Yes, there is great things on the opposite side, but you've got to talk to them around those choices. And so this just becomes a great conversation. Like, what do you think about us having a standard meal before we relocate? Giving them something to look forward to, or, write on your boxes, allowing them to become part of the moving process.
Yeah, that's such a great idea, because I know, when we used to travel a lot, whenever I would go to the airport, I knew exactly what what place I wanted to go, and I would always go there and get my same meal before I got on the plane. So, why not make that a family thing when you have to move? That is so right.
Yeah, it's just great to
Yeah,
just give them like a little job. Like I knew
exactly.
we would jump on bubble wrap, and that was just because you got boxes of bubble wrap all the time.
Uh-huh.
So that was just fun to whoever could get the most. You got to separate it, you got to crush the boxes after you plan them and write on them. But again, just making it fun for
Yeah.
children to be a part of. And so I want to see more of that, where we actually talk to them about what's happening in life and their role. And one thing that I really love about a part of the book is when the child is on the plane, Grace says, "I'm scared, Mom."
Uh-huh.
Mom says, "I'm scared too." Just being honest with them sometimes about where you are allows them to see you as human, not just
Yeah.
mommy and daddy who know and do everything well. Like, humanize yourself and say you're scared sometimes too. It can help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel that, being honest with your children, even when you think that they may not understand, they may understand a little bit better than you think they do, because even seeing how things work in the world today with technology, my kids know more about technology than I do. They adapted more over the pandemic with doing Zooms and everything, even a little bit faster than I did. And I used to use Zoom for work all the time prior to coming into the pandemic. So you never know, how a little honesty can go a long way in helping your child cope with different situations.
That's so true.
Yes. So, you've moved all over the place. Can you tell us a book that you actually related to or that may have inspired you to become an author?
So I'm an avid reader. So anywhere we lived in the world, my mom would always take us to the library. We'd find the local library and we would get to, as part of a reward, go spend a little time in the library every single day. And so I'd spend an hour or two every day reading.
Oh,
There's
that's
so many
awesome.
books. I could name anything from like Where the Sidewalk Ends to Aesop's Fables is one of my favorites. Even as a kid,
Yeah.
you're reading them, you have your own spin-off of the moral and what it means to you. And so we spent a lot of time reading because that was a constant, finding a community library. And we would make our own little book reports and just kind of do a spin-off of the story. If you wrote it, what you would say, which is
Yeah.
not what most authors want to hear, but that's something I've always done. I just loved writing. And during the pandemic, during the time of lockdown, you got a lot of extra time. So you're not
Yeah.
traveling to and from the office. You're like, okay, well, I have an extra 45 minutes to an hour, not including both ways.
Uh-huh.
What can I do? And I said, I would like to write. I want to make people feel heard and seen based off of my own experiences. And I thought, let's go with low hanging fruit. People always say, wow, you've lived here, you've done, and it's very exceptional to them, but it's the normal lifestyle for me to go to these places because that was part of my world. So I'm
Yes.
going to start writing these stories and publishing them. And, I got some beta readers between like 7 and 10. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
let me know if your kid thinks this is great or if this stinks. Like, these are my
Okay.
two. They'll tell you brutally honest. And so I
Yes,
just kind of kept
absolutely.
editing and revising to make it as authentic as possible.
Wow. So, okay. So you have I Move a Lot, and that's okay. Do you have any more books in store in the near future?
I do. So I have about 10 titles right now. There
Wow.
are coloring books for adult and youth and guided journals as well. And one thing I love, and it's at the top here, I Move a Lot, and that's okay. Axel story. So a friend of mine is a female service member. She said, I love
Okay.
your book, but I'm the service member and my son would like to see himself in a book. And I said, oh, so it's the same story, but with a boy character
Okay.
versus a girl character and a mom service member versus a father service member, because that
Yeah.
is part of the reality. And that one's a hit as well. So to answer your question, what else is coming? We're going to talk about PTSD, being a kid and, you know, having a parent that deals with PTSD. When your parent is gone quite a bit and deploys, we're going to talk about that and some of the nuances of the military connected community that many people aren't aware of because there wasn't as much support for the mindfulness of it and the therapy behind that's there now. It just wasn't there before. There was a lot
Yeah.
of shame associated with needing help and talking about anything that occurs in your, it's an old school thing and it was
Mhm.
very much a part of the military world. But now I love the blossoming of self-care is a world theme now, so a lot of the titles are around how do we support each other through conversation.
That's amazing. So we are definitely looking forward to more books coming from you and more books about mindfulness and about the environment that we live in. And, this is what this platform for Read with Carylee is all about. And I'm so glad that we got to share your story and hopefully we'll be able to share a lot more.
Yes, I look forward to it. I love what you do with the platform, how you're making each child feel heard and seen in a
Yes,
book. And that's all we've ever wanted. If you hear
absolutely.
that from a kid, we're doing the right thing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Shermaine Perry-Knights. And we will see you soon. Parents, counselors, teachers, go ahead and make sure you grab this book for, any child that may have to move around a lot, or maybe even just going and doing a big move away from their normal life that they've been living in for a year, 2 years. You never know. But we definitely need to keep our children in mind and make sure that they have the tools that they need to be able to be successful children and adults. So thanks again, Miss Shermaine.
Thank you. So just one small thing. I'm going to
Okay.
say if they want, can I tell them where they can reach out to me?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So if they will go on booksformilitaryfamilies.com, you'll be able to reach out to me. I would love to come and read to your school, to talk with your groups, just really, just like we're saying here, to build conversation around it, to really support kids through books, because it's not just a book. The book it represents a lifestyle. We can really make things better for children by allowing them to travel in a good book, to live through the characters, and to talk about their feelings in a way that are meaningful.
Yes. Well, you heard it from Miss Shermaine, and we will have everything in the description below. So thank you again to our audience for joining us for another Read with Carylee. Shermaine, this was such a wonderful conversation, and I know our families and our audience will love it. So make sure you check out Books for Military Families, and make sure you come back again next week for another wonderful author. As we say goodbye for now, remember to grab a book and read. Have a great day. Thanks for watching another amazing episode of the Read with Carylee Show. We have amazing authors coming by every week. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. You don't want to miss a thing.